And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Cosmographia, the Randall Carlson podcast, and we are coming to you guys live. This is a special live event for Asteroid Day, and we are joined by Brad and Randall. I think he's feeling okay, but I think his voice is, he's got a little problem with his voice, but we're still going to go live. We're going to talk asteroids. We're going to talk about possible, well, I actually don't know where he's going to take it. Maybe he's going to go into some symbolism, or we're going to talk about how we could all die. Not sure, but thank you guys all for joining us on a Friday night. I'm excited, and just want to let you guys know up front, Randall does have a kind of a presentation to give about the asteroids. You can send us super chats. You can send questions. We will be keeping track of them, but we can't guarantee you that we're going to answer all the super chats or the questions because, again, Randall's voice is going out, and we're gonna keep this one a little short. But still, we appreciate any donations you guys give us. We really do. It always helps. So, gentlemen, how are you doing this evening? How are you guys doing?
Well, I couldn't be doing better. I'll be doing better tomorrow. My wife was down with something earlier in the week, and I thought that I had maybe escaped it, but it started hitting me yesterday, so I'm kind of hoarse, sore throat a bit.
Yep.
So I've been boning up on the good stuff to fight it off, so I should be good in a day or two. But for right now, it's a little bit. I've got the raspy throat.
Yeah, we hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell, can't you?
Pretty obvious. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. My normal, articulate, distinguished voice is not apparent any.
Silent Mike is not here to talk the whole time for you.
You need to take some
Normal
horse
guy,
paste.
Mike. So yeah, you guys have been tracking. So this is Asteroid Day. What's the significance of Asteroid Day?
You asking us?
I'm asking
Anniversary.
anybody. There's three of you, and I know Brad knows.
Is this the
answer.
day that we celebrate the power of asteroids?
Well, okay.
Or is it like, is this like Asteroid Awareness Day? Is that what it is? Like,
Well, it's kind of
let's
that.
be
but,
aware.
Be awareness.
Yeah, okay.
June 30th. What are we commemorating?
I don't know. I give up.
Well, we talked about this on the live show. I guess the last one, I think.
Dang
Yeah,
it.
it's 115th anniversary.
Yeah, it's
Something
Tunguska.
happened in 1908. There you
Yeah.
go.
It's the Tunguska airburst, yeah.
Yes. And who was it who came up with the idea of Asteroid Day to commemorate June 30th?
Don't know that one.
Rather interesting.
Are you pinning it on one person?
Is it Boslow? Are you talking about Boslow?
Oh no,
Okay,
No.
it's not Boslow. Okay,
no.
good.
I think kind of I've seen attributions to one
Guitar
person.
player? Is that where you're going?
Well, yeah, until you give it away, give the answer away. Yeah, Brian May, lead guitarist of Queen, is an astrophysicist.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
He's
gotta
one
brush
of three
up
or
on
four,
my-
but yeah, he may have brought that up initially.
I
A
think
couple
it was
astronauts along with him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
when did
there's
that happen?
2016. This is the eighth year, I think. That's what I read
Okay.
just briefly when I looked for some emails that they were sending out, which were pretty sparse this year. But yeah, he's part of the B612 Foundation. That's a couple astronauts and Brian May, surprisingly, yeah. But I mean, maybe that's not surprising.
Yeah. So interestingly, we are now within the last few days, we've had several fairly close flybys in the cosmic sense. Let's see. June 25th, we had a house-sized asteroid zoom past the Earth. Let's see, near-miss Earth flyby of asteroid 2023 BU. January, I was back, well, that was a while ago. That was January 27th. But let's see. 2 days ago, near miss of an asteroid today. No, I'm pulling up the wrong stuff here. That was last year. But every year, we probably have at least a half a dozen. The latest one was that went by Wednesday was 91 meters. 91 meters.
Wow.
Yeah, that would have been a disaster.
Getting in Tunguska territory.
Yeah.
Ooh, I mean, that would have been quite a bit actually more
I thought
substantial.
wasn't Tunguska 150 feet or something?
About 150
Yep.
feet.
Yeah, so
So
90 meters.
91 meters is, let's see,
Much bigger.
91
double that.
meters times 3.28. So that'd be about 300 feet. And, volume of using roughly a sphere, volume of a sphere scales according to the cube of the radius. So it's, let's see, 5/4, I believe, 5/4.
So are they just aware of them whizzing by, or they have some sort of trajectory on them to say where they're coming from, or if they are Taurids in particular?
It
So
depends
that's
on
the other June 30th,
how soon
marker,
they're.
right? It's the
This
peak
one
of the
here,
summer
I think,
Taurids.
was discovered a few years ago. Let's see. Titanic-sized asteroid will pass by Earth this weekend. According to the Center for Near-Earth Object Studies of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, monitors the orbits of near-Earth objects. Ooh, this one's 840 feet asteroid. It's just 42 feet shy of the length of the Titanic. The asteroid was first identified by scientists in June of last year.
So that's bigger than the Statue of Liberty one by 3 times or more.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. What did it say that one was? 840 feet.
Hey, Diamond Lightning, thank you so much for the donation of $108. We really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Big
Oh, yeah.
thanks.
Diamond winner. Thank you.
Let's do a quick little calculation here. 4/3 pi r cubed. So if we go, somebody could write this down. If I go take the Tunguska object, let's say it's 150 feet in diameter. So radius is going to be 75 feet. So I cube that, and doesn't matter, I get 420 some thousand.
Yeah, 421,875.
Yep. And then we multiply that times pi, and then we multiply that times 4/3. Okay, so I get a pretty big number here, which I'm going to store, 1767145. So 1767145. Okay. Then we'll look at that 300-foot one that went by on Wednesday. So that would be 150-foot radius. I cube that, and I times that by pi. And then I times that by 4/3. And then I'm going to divide that.
Where are you getting the 4/3 from? What's this?
That's part of the formula.
Okay.
1.333.
1.3333, right.
Seven.
So I did the first one, and I ended up with 1,761,834.375.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so 300 feet, if my calculations are correct, I always would double check, but it's about 8 times the volume of Tunguska.
Okay.
It's double the diameter, but 8 times the volume. So you could figure
I get it,
that it's
yes.
going to be
Yeah.
roughly 8 times the energy released. Of course, there's all the other variables will be the speed, the velocity, the closing velocity, the angle of approach would be probably the 2 main parameters. But then you got to factor in the density of the incoming object,
What if it's
You
made
got to
of
figure
cheese?
the density of the target rock to come up with a more accurate. But roughly, it'd be like 8 Tunguskas at once. So Tunguska varies, say, be conservative, 15 megatons. So that'd be times 8. So that would be
It might
100.
not
That would
explode.
be about 120 megatons, which is more than double the Tsar Bomba, which was, I think, 58 megatons, which was the biggest hydrogen bomb ever tested by the Soviet Union back in, I think it was 1962. So that would be pretty devastating. That's enough to wipe out a whole state,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
a good sized state. But then the other one, what was the other one? 800.
And how close was it?
It was a pretty wide miss in Earth terms, but in cosmic terms, it's definitely in our cosmic neighborhood.
Beyond the moon, though.
Oh yeah, beyond the moon, yes.
Yeah.
Thanks to David Myers for the $20 donation.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, David. Sorry about my voice, guys.
No, it's all right,
just-
man.
I just spent too much time this week out screaming at the sky.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
I was wondering if you went to a heavy metal concert or if you were just screaming at the asteroids. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Anne, for the $20. Thank you.
Did your son have a good time at camp? I guess is the major question, though. So
yes, he won the
Julie
Kung
got
Fu.
sick over there, and you got sick coming back.
Yeah, but he did win the Kung Fu Cowboy Award.
Oh. That's
So-
legit right
Man,
there.
that sounds fun.
Nice.
Yeah, he had a good time.
Good.
So I imagine, they do a talent show, so I don't know what he was actually doing, but they don't really let the parents in because part of the idea is they want to get the kids away from the parents for a week. They don't get to have any phones or any of that stuff. So after about the second or third day, they're not missing it. Yeah, it's really great what they do. It's the Methodists who do the camp. They've been doing it for over 100 years. They really have their act together. So there's the Glisten camp and the Sparrowwood. Glisten is for regular kids, and Sparrowwood is for kids with special needs. Well, not even kids; it can be grown up too. But yeah, it's just a wonderful thing they do there. And they go out and they do stargazing and they swim. There's like a large waterfall on the property, Cane Creek Falls, and yeah, it's really great what they do. Anyhow, so that 840 feet, that was the Titanic sized one. So you could do the same calculation there. 75 times, what was it?
Thanks to Steve, John, and Lala C for the donations. Lala gave $100
Ann.
too. Yeah.
Wow.
I did say Ann. Yeah,
You
thank
did?
you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Appreciate
thank
y'all.
Ann twice.
That's
No
great.
problem.
Thank you.
Three.
Yeah, we had a report. I don't know if you guys heard this, Russ and Kyle, but Peter out there in Washington said he had his first daytime fireball sighting.
Oh.
Yeah, so I hadn't gotten a full report from him, but yeah, it was a big surprise to him. Looking in the right spot at the right moment.
Could have been a UFO.
Could have been.
How does he know?
And just again, for all the people joining, we're going to keep this one a little short. Randall's voice is going. We do want to do the presentation. We are watching the donations, but we probably won't be answering many questions. But we do appreciate all the donations, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we are going to be doing a live stream on July 14th.
A seminar, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty concentrated, and it's going to be a combination of what we know from the scientific realm, but also from traditional accounts and traditional beliefs, because based on the premise that a lot of the traditions we get from ancient times are actually very scientifically valuable in the information that they have conveyed to us over the centuries and the millennia. Because ancient cultures were keenly aware of what was going on in the sky, and they had a collection of various images and symbolry that they used when to talk about or to express their ideas about cosmic encounters. So we're going to dive into that quite a bit, looking at the ancient symbolism, unpacking some of that stuff.
And that's probably about as ubiquitous as the flood legends.
Pretty much.
If
Once
there
you
were
understand,
rankings, there's probably some of those everywhere also.
Yes, exactly. You're right.
Portends in the sky.
Yep, you're right.
And that's something that I guess probably the scientists and these people that are managing the asteroid day are totally overlooking. They're missing a opportunity to connect with the public by relating those stories. But here's Randall Carlson.
Yeah. Hey, thanks to Eric, Bruce, Pedro, CC Pino, Carlo, and Decky69 for the donations as well. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Wow.
That's excellent. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, so the Titanic-sized asteroid, the 840-foot in diameter, that would be roughly, because they're not perfectly spherical, obviously, but it'll give you sort of an order of magnitude, would be about roughly equivalent to 175 Tunguska events. So in terms of megatonnage, that would be about 2,634 megatons. The largest hydrogen bomb in the U.S. arsenal was 15 megatons. So if I divide that by 15, that would be like 175 15 megaton hydrogen bombs. So that would be all-out nuclear war, and that would be enough to cause a nuclear winter. Or a cosmic winter.
For sure. So that's much larger than what left the 3/4 mile wide hole in Arizona, right? But that was pretty much a solid piece of metal.
Yes.
So how do they determine if it is a stony chondrite or metal? Is there a way from the reflectivity, or how do they determine that? Because something 840 feet you'd think would get all the way to the ground and make a pretty substantial crater.
It would
even if it was stony. Yeah.
Well, asteroids can range up to almost cast iron density to a chondrite is about roughly like a average river stone, 3.5 grams per cubic centimeter. Comets are on the very low end of the spectrum in terms of density. However, in the newsletter that we're just putting out tomorrow morning, I do a report on a new study of the asteroid Pheaton. This came out. This came out in April of this year. So the asteroid Pheaton is named after the son of Helios in the Greek myth, who attempted to drive the chariot of his father, the sun, but proving inadequate to the task, managed to set the Earth on fire. Pheaton, the asteroid, sometimes called 1983 TB, is a member of a class of asteroids known as Apollos, whose orbits cross that of the Earth. The current census puts the total number of Apollo asteroids at 17,540. Phaeton's orbit brings it closer to the sun than any of the named members of the Apollo group, with a perihelion distance of only 13 million miles. Do you guys know what perihelion is?
Isn't that the closest in its orbit?
Yeah.
Closest approach? Yeah.
Yes.
And aphelion is the farthest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pheaton is 3.6 miles in diameter. That would
Whoa.
be a planet
Yep,
killer.
that's the end of the world right there. Yeah.
Yeah. It has an orbital period of 523.6 days. It's traveling with an average orbital speed of 45,000 miles per hour and is considered to be a potentially hazardous asteroid. It is also the parent body of which meteor shower? A little trivia for you guys.
Pheaton.
Don't
Which
know.
Body of which
meteor
meteor
shower?
shower?
Which meteor shower?
I don't know that one.
Give you a hint.
I'm gonna guess.
Okay, go ahead. Try a guess.
I
I won't. I won't
yes,
give
you
you a
will.
hard time if you're
Yes,
wrong. I
you
won't.
absolutely
No,
will.
well, I'll give you
I'm
credit
not
for at
gonna
least trying to guess. I'll give you a hint.
Is it the Draconids?
No.
Oh,
Give you a hint. It's a December meteor shower.
that's not gonna help me because I don't.
Oh man, I know what the December. Damn it.
Yes, I know, Russ. I know you know.
That's not
The
that's not the
Leonids.
Geminids, is it? Damn it.
Yes, it is the Geminids.
Okay, it's the Geminids. All
Ah,
right,
yeah,
I got it.
There you go.
Good
Son
one,
of a-
Russ.
Nice.
I know the Perseids and the Geminids. So
Yes.
yeah, Perseids.
Leonids, Taurids.
Mid-December.
Come on, you know
Yeah.
more.
And
Well, I know when
the
they
Ge-
are. That's just what
Yeah,
I
the
mean. The
Geminids is
Perseids
a
are my
pretty-
birthday. So
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The Geminids is a pretty prolific performer.
yes, Geminids
You
are
get some
always
nice-
yeah. If you can stand the cold, you can get
Yeah.
some. Yeah, right.
All right, so there's a mission planned in 2024 by the Japanese Space Agency to make a rendezvous with Pheaton. So that ought to be interesting.
Wonder what they're gonna
wh-
name the spaceship. You
I
gonna
got
follow
that
the
here.
myths.
I don't know, but I think I have the name of it here coming up. So it has been known since 2009 that Pheaton emits a tail when near perihelion, which of course is not typical of asteroids. That's typical of comets. It
Yeah.
has been assumed that this tail was composed of dust escaping from the parent body as a result of intense heating by the sun. However, the results of a new study in 2018 employing NASA's Parker Solar Probe satellite
Sun probe.
reveals composed of dust, but is actually sodium gas. So this year there was a paper published in the Planetary Science Journal with lead author Quisheng Zhang, a PhD student with the California Institute of Technology. Zhang and his team knew from an earlier study that comets can discharge brilliant tails as a result of sodium emission when near the sun. Sodium emission gives off an orange glow.
You
The
had a bunch of
earlier
electric
study-
universe people just on the edge of their seats there.
Oh,
waiting
yeah,
to
you
hear
did.
You say plasma or something even close. Sorry to interrupt there, but yeah, I know a lot of people are like,
well, I mean, the ion tail of comets is plasma. The earlier study also appeared in the Planetary Science Journal in 2021. It was titled Volatility of Sodium in Carbonaceous Chondrites at Temperatures Consistent with Low Perihelia Asteroids. The lead author, Joseph R. Maciero, and his team looked at samples from the Allende meteorite, which fell in 1969 over Mexico. It was believed that this meteorite originated from an asteroid similar to Pheaton. The team was able to heat samples to the temperature at which sodium could escape, which also happened to be the temperature that Pheaton attains when passing near the sun, about 1,390 degrees Fahrenheit, or 750 degrees Celsius. Sure enough, sodium escaped from the samples while other elements remained. Quoting Maciero, who is with Caltech, quote, "We know it's an asteroid and the source of the Geminids, but it contains little to no ice. So we were intrigued, excuse me, by the possibility that sodium, which is relatively plentiful in asteroids, could be the element driving this activity. A summary of Messiero's and others' work, which appeared in the phys.org website by anonymous authors with the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, put it this way, quote, "The new study supports a growing body of evidence that categorizing small objects in our solar system as asteroids and comets is oversimplified." Quoting Messiero, "Our latest finding is that if the conditions are right, sodium may explain the nature of some active asteroids, making the spectrum between asteroids and comets even more complex than we previously realized." So building on the earlier study, Zhang's team analyzing SOHO's observations. SOHO is the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, was able to discern the signature of sodium in the appropriate filter, but not dust. And then I have an image that, if you get the website, that image will be included in there, and you can see side by side the two filters, the filter for dust and the filter for sodium. The filter for dust, you don't see any sign of Pheaton at all, but in the filter of sodium, you do. You can actually see the asteroid with its tail. So the sodium sensitive orange filter clearly shows the asteroid with its tail, while the other image in the dust spectrum, the dust sensitive blue filter reveals nothing, consistent with Pheaton not producing any dust. A problem that arises as a result of this new evidence is simply that earlier assumptions about what constitutes comets versus asteroids may be obsolete. It also raises a relatively sticky question, as expressed in the phys.org's summary of Zhang's work. If Pheaton doesn't shed much dust, how does the asteroid supply the material for the Geminid meteor shower we see each December? So interestingly, with respect to this question, and again quoting from the phys.org website, our article, Zhang's team suspects that some sort of disruptive event a few thousand years ago caused Pheaton to eject the billion tons of material estimated to make up the Geminid debris stream. But what the event was remains a mystery. So next December, Kyle, as you're out gazing at the night sky to witness the beautiful light show of the Geminid meteor shower, ponder the idea that they are likely the consequence of some catastrophic event a few thousand years ago that traumatized the progenitor object, causing billions of tons of ejecta to discharge into orbit. Insight into the nature of this mysterious event may be gained from the upcoming rendezvous between Pheaton and the Destiny Plus spacecraft mission of the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, planned for a few years from now. So I found that particularly of interest because it's more evidence that there's no clear line of demarcation between comets and asteroids. And the idea that there was some disruptive or catastrophic event that caused the fragmentation or fracturing of the original progenitor asteroid that spalled off what is now the Geminid meteor shower. I find that interesting. And possibly support for the idea that some of the things we've been looking at, for example, like the younger Dryas events, which I'm now leaning strongly in the direction of believing that we're looking at events that transcended Earth and might have involved the whole inner solar system.
So how many sand grain sized meteorites you got to have make 1 billion tons?
Well, let me do a quick calculation here.
Right? All those little shooting stars you see, they say most of them are just really, really tiny. So there's got to be some more sizable stuff in there.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yeah. I mean, if you get a piece of space debris the size of a fist, it's going to make a quite impressive fireball.
Nice fireball. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right, real quick, David. Thanks to David, to T Baggins, and we got somebody else, Christopher, for the donations. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Yep. Many thanks.
So in the little blurb that I put in the newsletter about the July 14th, this is what I said. Watch for the upcoming live stream event on July 14th, in which I will take a deep dive into some of the mysteries and exceptionally important details regarding the cosmic ecosystem of which we are a part. I will explore both ancient and modern scientific traditions and how their emergence is advancing our knowledge in surprising and unexpected ways. So I've got a lot of great graphics and images and videos. We'll be looking at the asteroid impact calculator. And what we can do is we can let people pick some various places. You can pick your hometown and we'll do a simulation of various sizes objects. What would happen to your hometown? Let's say if struck by a Tunguska-sized object or a Titanic-sized object. And we can play around with that some. And then we'll be looking at some of the extraordinary imagery.
Our hometown would be destroyed by like a baseball-sized object. It's not a very big place.
Well, okay.
So, and you're saying all this is in the newsletter that comes out tomorrow, which is the first, as also the first Saturday of each month. So if people signed up tonight, they would still get it at 8 a.m. in the morning. I think all that processes immediately. So if you went to randallcarlson.com/newsletter, simple as that, and pop your email in there, you'll get a copy of this tomorrow where Randall reviews that scientific paper he was reading from, and multiple, probably 2 or 3 every month that you review.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Update people, Randall. So that's good stuff. And then it tells you about all the tours we're doing and the events like the Cosmic Summit that just happened 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
So yeah, it's good thing if you want to keep up with Randall. That's the best way.
Well, in this issue that's coming out in the morning, I have an extended review of the Cosmic Summit. That's followed by very interesting work that I find quite interesting, and I think, Russ, you'd be interested in this too. The various irrigation systems used by ancient cultures.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's quite phenomenal what they had going. Their very sophisticated hydraulic systems. So the one I'm looking at in tomorrow's issue specifically is in northern Arabia, in an area close to Tabuk at an oasis. Of course, it's all in ruins now, but once upon a time, there was a very extended settlement there. And they had a very sophisticated system of irrigation. So I talk about that and how they developed it based around natural climate shifts that were going on. I've included a map in there so people can see, and the map is separately downloadable. And then the articles I was just reading from Comet, Asteroid, or Hybrid. And then I've got some interesting new studies on psychedelics. Research continues to appear demonstrating the powerful benefits of the prudent and intelligent use of psychedelic substances, benefits that have been denied to humanity for decades because of ignorant and oppressive laws criminalizing their use. So the British science journal Nature is finally admitting the tremendous potential of psychedelic therapy. So very interesting about it. Actually regenerates the brain. That's what it appears. Restores kind of a youthfulness to the brain and strengthens the connections between the neurons in the brain. So I've got a report on that. And then I always give the original sources so that if somebody wants to go to the original sources, I provide the references. And then I have a discussion about the privatization of space exploration and enterprise. You know that yesterday, Richard Branson's Galactic 1 took 4 for paying customers up to almost 60 miles above the Earth. So we've got Elon Musk, SpaceX. They're planning some very interesting new missions. So I talk about that, and then talk about, Virgin Galactic has completed its first commercial space flight. They launched from the Spaceport America in New Mexico. I know, Brad, you know about that. We've looked at that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that could be a very a center for. They want, in fact, the state of New Mexico wants to be a hub and create one of the most active spaceports on Earth there. So Virgin Galactic is using that as their launch facility.
Who did William Shatner grow up with? Was that one of Elon Musk's?
That was with Elon Musk.
Yeah. Okay. That was not too long ago, 6 months ago or so.
And then we've got Jeff Bezos, Blue Origins. And, look, you don't have to like these guys. I'm not particularly fond of Elon.
You
he's
have
pretty
to
cool.
like them.
But the fact that they're doing this,
Algorithm.
Listen, because I've said many times for many years, and Bradley and how many times since we've known each other, Brad, we've agreed how important it is for humanity to have a presence in space, to explore space, to develop space economically, all of that. And it's great to actually see it happening, and the private sector stepping up to the plate. So I remember back when
you guys got to get it started.
Yeah. Remember back in 19.
It's worthwhile.
Yeah, in '76 when Gerard O'Neill first came out with his space colonies ideas, the usual knee-jerk reaction was, why should we be going out to space when we've got so many problems here on Earth that we need to solve? And I would say, well, first of all, once you think about maybe those problems here on Earth, maybe the solution does involve becoming expanding into a cosmic existence. But, now we've got 76 since 1976, we're soon going on a half a century that people have been saying that. And I don't see that we've done anything as far as solving our problems here on Earth too much. I mean, here we are engaged in continuous wars and so on. And, with all the fears of climate change, which in my opinion are mostly unfounded. But, we're essentially, our entire foreign and military policy of the U.S. is based upon the zero-sum concept that there's only a finite resources available. And it's just going to be this Malthusian struggle over who gets to control the resources. I mean, there's a huge oil reservoir under Ukraine. So who's going to control that? That's a big motive in why we're involved in Ukraine. So there are those issues that I think, what are our options here? Do we go to war, fighting with Russia, fighting with China over the finite resources of Earth? Or do we perhaps consider forming joint ventures and, moving into the development of space, and which would start with a colony on the moon, which would become our port city to the solar system. And I'm going to talk about that a lot in the July 14th, the possibility that of us moving into space and what that means.
We've talked about it before, and certainly you don't want to predict it or manifest it, but we've said, and I've thought it for a long time, it's going to take some sort of modern impact event or really devastating airburst for people to realize, okay, this is real. We got to do something. Why haven't we been doing something already? And then there'll be a rush, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, in 1976,
sadly, that's not what you want to happen to motivate us, but that might be likely.
Right. In 1976, when O'Neill first proposed his ideas for space colonization, space development, and so forth, we didn't really know at that point how susceptible and vulnerable we were to cosmic impacts. And of course, now we really do know that we are very vulnerable. And that's one of the things we'll talk about in the July 14th, is we're going to be looking at some of these past events. And how there's way more of them than anybody had even imagined a few decades ago.
So this is a continuation of what you started at the Cosmic Summit?
Yes.
Or not necessarily, or it is kind of all flowing into
Yeah.
a longer program. Okay,
If
good.
you recall, what I did at the Cosmic Summit was I showed geomorphic effects of catastrophes, and in this case, specifically the catastrophe that would have been triggered by a multi-impact event into the Great North American ice sheets at the end of the Great Ice Age. And I ended by proposing what I thought was one of the possible impact sites. And I've been mapping out, and one of the things that we concluded with there was and of course, could only get into it just superficially, but the importance of drumlins and drumlin swarms and the mystery of drumlins and what the explanation for them is and how they provide the key, I think, to determining where there may have been actual impacts into the ice sheets. So what I did was I talked hydrology, I talked I talked glaciology, I talked a little bit about the mass extinction, but where it ended was the idea of cosmic impact. And that's the July 13th or 14th is going to kind of pick up from that. So yeah, it's going to, if I had kept talking for another 3 hours at the Cosmic Summit, this is the stuff I would have been getting into.
And the live stream of the Cosmic Summit 2023 is available now. It's only $49. It's over 20 hours of excellent material. Russ presented.
Yep.
Hit a home run, was excellent. People were cheering. That was what I heard most about afterward, of how the best one was Russ.
Wait. Are they saying that Russ's presentation was better than mine?
Well, I learned from a master.
That's what I was hearing, but everything I heard about the whole conference was positive, just off the charts positive. Ben gave excellent presentation. Randall had lots and lots of time, which was excellent. The science that they brought in, I was riveted the whole time.
Oh, Andrew Moore, great.
Chandra Wickramasinghe came in by around the world phone call, right? And he's been announced as the keynote speaker for next year. If he can get to North Carolina in person, that will be amazing.
Chandra's awesome.
The organizers weren't sure, but it came off so well. And Kyle was intensely involved in the staging. It was, very professional, very well done. The sound was great. The video monitors were huge, and everybody was just super pleased with the event. So thanks, George Howard, for pulling that together. And there's definitely going to be another one in 2024. So yeah, $49, and we'll make sure the links. I'll make sure the links are in the video notes here.
Yeah.
Is it howtube.com Randall Carlson? Because I can just put it in the chat right now.
Yeah.
So if you buy
it's howtube.com/RCCS23.
Oh, okay.
So Randall Carlson Cosmic Summit 23, RCCS 23.
All right.
So that's the simplest one.
Yeah. So there's an affiliate link. Basically, if you go buy the live stream and you want to support Randall, you buy it through his link on HowTube, and he gets a portion of the proceeds there.
That's right. And that is the appropriate link to do that, to be able to do that.
Excellent. Yeah, we had 14 or 15? 15 speakers, I think, including Chandra.
14 or 15.
Oh.
George thought he's going to be able to double it for next year. He picked out a really nice venue. Kyle's already been out there.
Yes,
they'll be able to have concurrent speakers. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, like they do with bands at music festivals, but there'll be enough space and hopefully enough people to keep all that going. So that was exciting here in Nashville just 2 weekends ago.
If you want to abandon Randall and support Russ or the Brothers of the Serpent podcast, you can go to our link and buy the live stream.
There you go. That's right. Each speaker.
But
has
I don't
their
know
own
what the
affiliate
link.
link.
I don't know what it is.
Howtube.com/Brothers of the Serpent. That's ours. But I put Randall's in the chat there. So there is a link in there. Howtube.com/RCCS23.
Thank you.
Yeah, I tell you, there's just some really great presentations.
Yeah.
Kenneth Tankersley.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
His was great.
Chris
the
Cottrell.
Hopewell Airburst event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Stephen Collins, who was the dig director at Tel Al Hammam, which was a Bronze Age, Middle Bronze Age impact event, probably the origin of the destruction of Sodom story.
Mm-hmm.
And this is some of the stuff.
Fantastic story. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be some of the kinds of stuff that we would be exploring on July 14th. Mark Young gave a great synopsis on the nanomaterials associated with the younger Dryas. Martin Sweatman talking about Göbekli Tepe and the symbolism. Micah Hanks presenting some of the latest stuff on the UFO disclosures. Yes, I mean it was rich.
Chris Cottrell with the Carolina
Don't-
Bays and the shoreline stuff. I mean, dude, it's so good. All of it was so good.
All of it was so good.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Well
what
done.
else should we
Yeah.
talk about? While I still have a little bit of voice
I will
left.
say what's behind me. You mentioned it earlier, but this is a survey or a census of the PHAs, the potentially hazardous asteroids, or the Apollo asteroids, right? So I think this is probably from 15 years ago. So it's a whole lot more busier neighborhood than this shows. And this is still framed from a video. So it's probably on that findable on that JPL site.
Yeah, I think we'll actually.
they're tracking it, so.
I actually have that, and I think we can show that. We can show the video on the 14th.
During the 14th, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely have used it before. I can find the link and put that in the description too.
Great. Well, we should at some point come up with an Astrobleem and impact crater tour.
Yeah, that would
How
be
many
amazing.
craters? Yeah, Bradley and I have visited 10 or 12 craters in North America if you list them all.
Yeah.
At least.
Well, and others that were
Friday night.
proposing.
What beer do you drink on Asteroid Day?
Yeah.
Oh.
Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet. Is that a beer?
I'm still not convinced that's beer.
Dude,
is there going to be a meteor
on.
shower when we're in Montana, Brad? That's the question. We're going to be able to watch a meteor shower in Montana. Whoa, Peter.
I have
Peter
requested
Shell.
one.
Peter Shell rolls in with $432 donation. Thank you, Peter. Bro.
Peter.
Thank you so much for your...
I don't even know what to say about Peter anymore. He's just more awesome than there are words.
That's too cool. Amazing. And he was at the Cosmic Summit with us, and then
yes, he was.
Came out to check out Serpent Mound for the solstice. We had a group go over there for sunset. So yeah, always good to see you, Pete. That is totally generous. Thank you, sir.
Well, I made the comment last time at the Cosmic Summit that if Peter doesn't show up at some of our tours, it just wouldn't feel right.
Now it starts to feel weird that he's not there. I agree.
It feels weird if he's not there.
Yeah.
Well, we're finding that he leaves stuff. And we find
it's
like
like
interesting stuff that he leaves.
It's his own personal commentary tale. He's just kind of leaving at the events.
Well,
Pete, if that's your Cosmographia hat at the house, we have it for you.
Well, I think Julie has a pair of his pants. He left his pants at one of the...
Whoa.
Here we go.
Okay, whoa. Peter, bro, we're going to need to talk later.
It's just like the dream, right? We're on a tour and you look down and you're like,
oh, where are my pants?
I don't have my pants.
One of those dreams. I thought I was the only one that had those dreams. Yeah, I used to have a dream that I would be out at the bus stop waiting for the school bus, and then all of a sudden I'd realize I was only in my underwear.
Yes.
And then one
That's
day
fairly
I was at the
common.
bus stop, and then I looked and I realized it wasn't a dream. It was, I
It's like,
forgot to put
wake
my
up,
pants-
wake up. So when are we in Montana, Brad? And is there going to
gone
be a
astray.
meteor? Is there going to be a meteor shower we can watch?
September 18th to 23rd.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the end of the Epsilon Perseids.
Aha. Okay.
We might
Yeah.
have a few strays, but yeah, we got big, beautiful dark sky out there around Flathead Lake and up in far north Idaho there and down in the Purcell Trench. Yeah, we might have to make a night mission or two out there and
Yeah.
look around. Go up in that very dark area north of what is it, Bonner's Ferry up there.
Yeah, last time it was like overcast. We were there at the tail end of a big flood, and there was still rain and everything, so we didn't really see much
yeah.
sky, but maybe this time we can see the big old blue Montana sky and get maybe some meteors and some stargazing during the night. Of course,
So what-
it's
Some
also
amazing
lots of
water
driving to amazing sights, so it's like everybody's pretty tired at the end. It'd be hard to do some meteor watching. Everybody wants to eat and go to bed.
Well, we have rearranged it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So some of those drives are shorter, actually. We're not staying at the same site for 3 nights. We're going to move down closer to the action in the Missoula Basin, actually. So we're going to shorten the drives and be able to see some new things that we didn't go on the last trip. So that's always good to break out some new spots and
Right on.
Yeah.
just let everybody discover something new each trip.
Excellent.
So yeah, September 18th to 23rd, there are spaces, but they go fast once it gets closer and closer. We're finding out. So
Yep.
you may want to get your deposit down for that one.
Ugh.
Again, we'll have the links for that, but you'll find out about it in the newsletter, randallcarlson.com.
And within the last month, Brad has done a recon of the Bonneville flood route.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to be a very, very good tour. Starting in Salt Lake, moving up along the Wasatch Mountains, up through Red Rock Pass into southern Idaho, following the path of the Snake River. Yeah, that is an incredible tour.
It is. It's going to be outstanding. I had a great time revisiting bunch of those places. I've been to a few in the last few years, but a lot of stuff, we went out there 2000. So got back out to Craters of the Moon,
Mm-hmm.
the volcanic lava flows out there.
Mm-hmm.
Went all the way into, well, we did talk about this on one of the previous podcasts, but those aren't released yet. But yeah, we had got to the end of the line in Hell's Canyon. As far as the road goes, you go below Hell's Canyon Dam, and then they got some fishing down there, but they've also got some jet boat tours. So we're going to figure out if we can pull that in as the climax for that tour. But yeah, we'll see. Hope to run that in 2024, but definitely doing a Scablands in May. But the one immediate one in September is in Montana, where the quote unquote lake was that supplied a big volume of water that went into the Scablands, but certainly not all of it, as more and more evidence is showing. And there's another admission by Nick Zentner, I think, that he's recognizing that, that's absolutely something that did happen. There were major flows coming out of Canada down the Okanagan Valley. And again, he's been traveling and doing shows with our Drumlin resident Drumlin expert, Jerome Lessman.
Yeah.
So
I think
what I was told was that Nick even mentioned Randall's name several times, so that we may need to make some corrections to what he thinks Randall is proposing or hypothesizing. But the bridge is starting to be built.
I think Moses Cooley is one of the things he was looking at. He was just like, okay, this doesn't make sense. But
Right.
yeah, I need to watch his more recent videos. Hey, thanks to Mooksy Kling, and we got one more here. GEC812 for your donations. Thank you so much. Again, we're not taking questions. We're probably going to cut this short. We're going to cut this off here pretty soon. Randall's yawning. His voice is gone. But we really appreciate the donations, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, look, see, Randall shows up to work even when he's sick.
Yeah. That's right.
Right? You didn't take a day off, bro.
Yep.
After driving all afternoon.
Well, of all the things I do in my day-to-day existence, doing these podcasts with you guys is definitely one of my favorite things.
Oh yeah, top of the list.
I hate to miss, anything like that.
Cheers. Cheers, buddy.
In the next, we don't have the itinerary worked out yet for the May Scablands tour, but one of the things I've been wanting to do is get up there in that middle reach of the Columbia up there near Kettle Falls and do a boat trip down there, because there's some very interesting deposits along there that demonstrate that the water is coming from the north, and it completely bypassed the basin of Lake Missoula.
We are changing up that itinerary a bit. We're going to talk about it actually this weekend.
Oh, okay.
First couple of days. So yeah, if there's a Sandpoil River and Lake Roosevelt there that's backed up by the huge Grand Coulee Dam. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh, one other thing. When we start the Montana tour, will we be starting out of Spokane by any chance?
Correct.
Okay, so I have a new site. We've got to see it. One of the
got to add it, Brad.
Well, let me know, because that's something that's on my schedule to get that laid out. Now that we've got the nights set up, now that we know we can't be in Polson for 3 nights in a row, we've got to switch it up. So that's one of my major priorities now, is to get that laid out.
Well, Tyler, who was at the Cosmic Summit, lives right up there, and he's done some exploring, and he's found a site that would definitely be worth checking out. He sent me some pictures on my iPhone.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'd share them, but I'll
Sounds
show them
good.
to you later, Brad, over the weekend or something.
I don't remember Tyler right off if we talked, but yeah, it's great that people will show up, and that's a good opportunity to meet us and show us some of these things you're doing on your own, and see how they can possibly be integrated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you see this, it's pretty mind-boggling.
It's north of Spokane.
Yeah.
You might have mentioned. I'm not recalling right away, but yeah, good. Let's look at it.
Well, gentlemen,
I like variety.
Shall we call it here?
Wrap her up.
What do you guys say? Yeah, wrap it up.
We could call it here. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to reiterate that Randall's going to follow up with a live stream on HowTube on Friday night, 2 weeks from tonight, July 14th. It'll be $18, and
that's a great price. $18 for a Randall presentation there.
How long are you going to go?
I thought that was
a couple hours anyway.
a couple hours plus
I got
some Q&A in there.
Yeah, we'll get some Q&A in there. I got pretty good massive material.
That's
Excellent.
what I was going to say. That may turn into more. Now knowing that there's going to be another Cosmic Summit, we might just keep getting that younger Dryas, Torrid, Storm, etc. Because the research is going to continue to put out things in support. We believe, and actually, I don't remember all the details, but Mark Young actually won an award, and is going to get some funding to
that's cool.
continue
Nice.
what he's doing.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Mark is
so
great. It was great to finally meet him. He's awesome.
Yeah, he is.
Absolutely.
We got to hang out at Serpent Mound afterwards too. It was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saw him a couple days after that. Yeah, we all had a lot of fun. So, good guy, and he's going to be involved in this effort for a long time in the Comet Research Group. So,
I also want to give a shout out.
Congrats to Mark.
Oh, we got a screen share there. Here's that's the live stream.
Zoom in on that baby.
Yeah,
Is that you,
very
Randall?
small.
It's Laura's sharing it on her phone, I guess, and it's really there we go.
There it
There
is.
we go. Wow.
Thanks,
Oh,
Laura.
That's a beaut.
Here be dragons.
Yeah, that's
Perfect. See, you need to bring that on Snake Bros, Randall.
Yeah,
That's a perfect Snake Bros topic.
Oh, bro, when was the last time you came on our show?
Yeah. We started this podcast with Randall. He's never been on our show since.
You were the first guest I wanted to get when we started the podcast. I was like, we were like, who are we gonna get? And I'm like,
Randall
Hey,
Carlson.
man, just remind me. I'll be happy to come back on. Absolutely, I will.
All right.
Where are you at?
But
You guys like 250 some. We were on 108.
we had 290.
Yeah.
Wow.
We just did 290
Yeah.
this week. Yeah.
Wow.
Before we go, though, I want to
All
give
right.
a shout out to a new friend, Luke Caverns, who was at the
Yes.
Cosmic Summit. He's he's located near us, and that guy did a great presentation, and he's got me stoked. about going
Yes.
down to Central America and looking at
Mexico, Central America, looking for Mayan lost
ruins.
cities.
Yeah,
dude, Luke is amazing.
And congratulations to him and Lauren. They're getting married.
They're
like
getting
tomorrow.
married. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
So, congratulations,
Wow.
guys.
Time
Also,
now.
Johanna James,
Congrats.
she did an amazing job. It was great to meet her finally as well. And she just like carried the whole thing, made people laugh, came out between each speaker. She was so good.
She was
So,
perfect in that role. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
It was-
a
it was-
great choice. And she spoke.
Yes,
about,
and she gave a presentation.
Perhaps,
What if?
What
Yeah.
if?
Yeah.
Luke,
Some of these.
Luke
yeah.
also has I think he's on TikTok, which I'm not on, but he also has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, Luke Caverns.
Just check it out, guys.
Yeah, I've had
Cool guy.
several great conversations with Luke since the Cosmic Summit, and he's got, he divides his time. He lives half the year just north of Atlanta,
Mhm.
Yeah.
up near just across the border in North Carolina. So I may even try to get up there and pay him a visit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good man. Good man.
So yeah, get that $49 live stream, and you can watch all these different presentations at your leisure.
It's so awesome. I mean, I just the content, the lineup, it was just so good all the way through. So definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We also had Luke on our podcast right before the summit. So we had a good long 2.5 hour conversation with him
we
about
were just like, let's
go
get lost
find
in the jungle.
some freaking cities in the jungle. Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was a great conversation. All right.
And he's
deal.
he's studying to be a cultural anthropologist too.
Yeah.
So he's got credentials.
Yeah.
So that's a
Unlike the rest of us, he actually has some.
Yeah,
credentials.
Right. We're just we make wine and we drive machines. We don't have any credentials. But Luke's legit.
Grifting along.
Mark is legit.
Yeah, I was making fun of Russ because the announcements. Johanna was up there announcing to people, and she'd give one of the scientists this long thing of like, this person is the blah 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 and PhD and this and that blah blah, and then Russ's turn comes up and she's like, and Russ
does a podcast.
That's great.
Yeah.
That was brilliant, though.
No credibility to destroy.
That's right. If you don't have any credibility, they can't destroy it. That's right. So, RandallCarlson.com, if you're interested in the tours, you can sign up for the newsletter. Anything else Randall's doing, that's the place to go to find out what's going on with Cosmographia and Randall and the whole team.
And the previous ones are available on Patreon if you want to contribute to Randall that way. Get on a monthly
there you go.
Deal like that.
Every little bit helps.
We're gonna have some offers like that through How To, but yeah, that's much appreciated. People that are contributing
really
every
is,
month,
yes.
and we're doing some Q&A for them. So more episodes of Randall Responds have come out, but they go to them first. So a couple more coming to the YouTube channels, but appreciate those Patreon contributors too.
We do. All right, gentlemen, let's wrap it up. Randall needs a nap. I can tell.
Yeah, I need about an 8-hour nap.
Yeah, he needs an 8-hour nap.
I need a beer.
And Brad needs a beer.
It's beer time.
Thanks to the chat. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to everybody who donated. Yes.
Thanks, everybody. Peter,
Thanks
you're awesome.
again, Peter.
Man.
Happy Independence Day.
Yep.
That's right.
As well.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Have a good weekend.